Hello, and welcome to this poster presentation called Niigaanwidoon. We are all leaders, we will lead the way. Wise Care Integrated Knowledge Translation to address multimorbidity and promote healthy aging in Indigenous peoples. My name is Sebastian Lefebvre, and I am the Research and Development Coordinator at Niigaanwidoon North Shore Community Health Services, and I am joined today by Michael Ann McLean, the Research Projects Coordinator at Niigaanwidoon Health Center. I would first like to acknowledge the traditional lands and communities involved in our work. This poster presentation is being recorded in the city of Greater Sudbury on the traditional lands of the Atikameksheng and Anishinaabeg, and part of the city is found on the traditional lands of the Wahnapitae First Nation. I would like to acknowledge the First Nations communities on Manitoulin Island, which we worked with, Wikwemagong Unceded Territory, Chiging First Nation, and Cheshagwaning First Nation, and also the communities on the North Shore, Atikameksheng Anishinaabeg First Nation, Sagamok Anishinaabeg First Nation, Serpent River First Nation, Mississauga First Nation, Thessalon First Nation, Gun River First Nation, and Batchewana First Nation. Disclosure, we have no relationships with for-profit or not-for-profit organizations, and this research project was made possible through a grant from the Canadian Institutes for Health Research. So the purpose of this project was to partner with communities to identify services, resources, and support to address the unmet needs of persons living with or at risk of developing multiple chronic comorbidities. This project is going to support communities in their understanding of the MCCs, or multiple chronic comorbidities.
So the research questions that we were looking to answer are: what are the needs faced by Anishinaabeg adults age 45 plus with MCC, multi-comorbidities? The second question is, what are the contextual factors that contribute to the health issues and barriers to care for Anishinaabeg adults age 45 plus living with MCC? And the third question, what is the range of strengths-based services, programs, and supports to address holistic care needs of adults with MCC as found within Anishinaabe communities?
So for this project, we were interested in working with persons living in Indigenous communities, people that specifically were living in Mississauga First Nation, Chiging First Nation, Cheshagwaning First Nation, and Wikwemagong Unceded Territory, over the age of 45 and had 2 or more chronic conditions.
In terms of data gathering, the data for questions 1 and 2 was gathered through 19 one-on-one interviews with community members who are currently living with MCCs. The question set was developed and guided by our steering committees. The interview questions asked for community members to discuss their living experiences in living with MCC, accessing care, and the impacts of MCC on their lives. And the data for question 3 was gathered through 4 Aspen Map activities led by a graphic facilitator. So community members, care providers, and elders were asked to discuss the community strengths and assets in providing care, resources, and supports for their members.
So the results, the interviews underscored the significance of holistic health, encompassing physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being, while also delving into access to healthcare services, social engagement, and discussion of various health conditions such as diabetes, strokes, and kidney problems. All expressed contentment with the support they received from healthcare services in their communities, while also acknowledging the importance of traditional practices with varying levels of personal involvement. Challenges discussed range from transportation issues to concerns about palliative care for First Nations communities. During the asset mapping activities, it was found that the communities faced health challenges like isolation, mental health issues, and safety concerns, but maintained resilience through a supportive network and grassroots efforts. Traditional practices and gatherings promote holistic health, encompassing mental well-being and cultural heritage. Support structures include intergenerational learning. Trauma is addressed through communal activities and connection to cultural identity. Services and programs cater to older adults with chronic conditions, reflecting the community's strengths and cultural heritage. Collaborative efforts, and emphasis on traditional medicine.
We would like to acknowledge all the people who have worked and provided help and support on this project. The success of the project would not have been possible without everyone's efforts. We would also like to thank all the communities and the community steering committees that have welcomed us for our many presentations. We always appreciate the time given to us to engage with you. Niigaanwidoon.
Thank you so much for joining us in this poster presentation called Niigaanwidoon. We are all leaders. We will lead the way, the Wise Care Project. If there are any questions, please feel free to contact me through email at sebastian.lefebvre@manoa.ca. So that's SEBASTIEN.LEFEBVRE@NMNINOEYAA.ca. Thank you, Miigwech.